Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to GT7's update 1.31. Now this video I'm going to talk about all of the 5 new cars that have come to the game with this update, and overall I'd say this is a fairly good selection of cars featuring everything from a 8-seater to a classic Porsche and all the way up to the obvious massively hyped DTM Group 2 machine. I'm tempted to say this is definitely one of the better bunch of cars that we've had within a single update, pretty much covering everything. Like I said, you've got the classics, you've also got the minivans and the more road-going cars like the Mazda 3 and even a brand new race car. So I really cannot complain if we're talking about diversity. So let's talk about the Toyota Alphard first. This is perhaps the meme car of the bunch. We seem to get at least one each update, but this is definitely something different in terms of Gran Turismo 7 and takes you back to those ridiculous times. So this one's going to set you back 75,000 credits, and in all honesty it's a fairly customizable vehicle. Now you can't wide body it, however you can put aero parts on it and it is very good upgraded. Being a 4-wheel drive 8-seater, it certainly performs much better than you probably expect, and I found myself having fun with it every time I've driven it so far. I definitely just don't see this car getting very old very soon, and I could certainly see it becoming a very popular car, especially for the memes. So overall I'd definitely say this is a worthy addition to Gran Turismo 7 just for being something completely different, and definitely takes me back to those times where Gran Turismo and Polyphony would definitely throw in some of the most ridiculous, unimaginable cars in a racing game. So yeah, certainly a fantastic car, lots of fun to drive, and I cannot wait to see the ridiculous liveries that people make for this thing. Overall I would say this is a solid 9 out of 10 in terms of its addition to the game, just for being something completely different, being something completely hilarious, and actually having much better performance than I expected. So definitely a solid addition to the game. So let's move on now, and we're going to talk about the Mazda 3. This one's going to set you back 37,000 credits. In terms of its performance, it's nothing mind-blowing, putting out 177 brake horsepower. However, it is 4-wheel drive, which is a massive plus point for this car and makes it a much more enjoyable driving experience. Once I dived in and got into tuning it and testing out the standard version and the more kind of tuned up version, in all honesty I was pleasantly surprised. It really does give me touring car vibes in terms of the kits that you can put on it and just kind of the way it feels. You can really kind of throw it through without it putting out, you know, sort of too much ridiculous horsepower. In terms of its straight line speed, it's nothing special, but its main ability is through the corners, and it certainly feels a joy to throw through pretty much any corner in the game. A massively enjoyable car, and certainly a car that I didn't expect much from, so I'm definitely glad to have this as an addition. Will it be usable over a longer period of time? I'm not too sure on that one yet. I maybe feel like it could be a bit of a, you know, kind of splash in the ocean. It'll appear, people will tune it up for a bit, have a bit of fun with it, and then it will kind of just fade away into the rest of the car roster. So in all honesty, this is perhaps the weakest one of the bunch in terms of the update 1.31 cars, but that doesn't mean it's a bad car at all. It's certainly a bit of something for everyone, and this kind of covers that base of a, you know, I guess compact car. Next up, we have the Porsche 959 from 1987. Definitely one of the more hyped cars from this update, coming in at 1.75 million credits, which is actually not too bad in terms of a price point. So it's very much a legendary car. You kind of know what you're getting with this one if you know anything about cars. Very much a car that I'm going to put up against the Ferrari F40 at some point in time. But overall, on its own individual basis, this is a fantastic car. Not only is it one of my overall favourite Porsche designs just from the weird looks of it, and it's definitely something a bit different in terms of the classic Porsches. It certainly performs very well. Tons of grip, tons of speed, and definitely not a disappointing car at all. I'm really glad this car's now in the game. Like I said, in terms of putting it up against that Ferrari F40, that is going to be a bit of a big showdown in terms of, you know, using those cars together. So it's fantastic to have, you know, more rival cars together in the game, and I really cannot complain. This is one Porsche that I've wanted in the game from day one, and I'm glad to finally have it in. In terms of its price point, like I said, 1.75 million is really not too bad for this car. I expected it to be a touch over 2 million, so it's saving me at least around about 500,000 credits from what I originally thought it was going to be. Definitely a car for more of the enthusiast, person. I think people that just want race cars and road, kind of, you know, Group 4 or Group 3 cars, probably going to want to ignore this one. But if you are a big Porsche fan or you like your retro cars, this is certainly one that you're not going to want to miss. Next up, we have the Porsche Carrera GTS 904 from 1964, the most expensive car of the update, coming in at 2.5 million and putting out only 179 brake horsepower. However, this is a fantastic car, mainly for the way it drives. It's very, very light, coming in at only 650 kilograms. Naturally aspirated, makes a fantastic sound and looks absolutely stunning. In terms of it actually being in a racing game, I really cannot remember anything, at least over the last decade, that has actually featured this car anywhere really, or at least not that I've noticed. Obviously, with it coming in an update, it's going to be a car I'm going to test, and I've certainly enjoyed it in terms of actually driving the thing. It's very kind of tail happy, but it's not tail happy to the point where it kind of wants to throw you into a barrier. Again, if you just want race cars in Gran Turismo, then in all honesty, you're probably going to ignore this one. However, if you do like your classic cars, or you like the classic sports cars that are already in the game, it's very much on par with those. However, it does feel rather quite different. I'd say it's very, very light, feeling a little bit like the Maserati in terms of its weight and how it feels. But in terms of its drivability, it's a step above a lot of the older cars. However, this could just be due to the physics changes that we've had with this update. Really enjoyable driving experience, makes a fantastic note in terms of its exhaust sound, and it's actually a much quicker car than I expected it to be. The sense of speed really is there, again, perhaps due to how light this thing is. Coming in at only 600 odd kilograms, it's a fantastic driver's car, and certainly one you're not going to want to miss. Then we have the big one of the update for last, the Audi RS5 Turbo DTM from 2019, coming in at 1 million credits if you want to purchase it. And I must say, it is absolutely fantastic, becoming an instant favourite of mine. One thing that I absolutely love about this car is the exhaust note. It sounds very, very beefy. In the kind of low early revs, you kind of get this nice turbo sound. Then all of a sudden, as you kind of get to the halfway point, it begins to roar up and sounds absolutely phenomenal. In terms of its performance, it's fantastic. You're able to massively throw it through the corners, and definitely feels a lot more stable than the other Group 2s. However, again, I haven't gone back to this kind of Super GT Group 2s since the physics changes, so this may just be a change with the game. And it actually features a DRS system, which is absolutely awesome to use. So when you are going down the straights, you can use the DRS on the wing. It will basically move about. You may see it in the background of the gameplay, and it does allow you to reach some incredible speeds. Non-upgraded, I was topping out around about 185 miles an hour, which is more towards some of the classic Group 2s that we actually have than the Super GT machines. That DRS really helping it in terms of its straight line speed. Overall, this is a fantastic addition to the game, and I'm very, very happy to begin to see DTM cars enter Gran Turismo 7. Hopefully this car paves the way for the rest of the DTM cars from the same year to come in. Obviously, if they are focusing on the 2019s, then hopefully, you know, we get more 2019s, such as the BMWs and the Aston Martins. Hopefully they'll come in the near future, because I feel like it will be a massive missed opportunity if we just have one single DTM car literally left to run on its own. Bear in mind, this is kind of built to the same specifications of the Super GTs of the time, but with the DRS and such, it definitely makes it a kind of one of a kind in terms of how it feels within Group 2. But hopefully it really does pave the way for the rest of the machines to come into the game as well. So there we have it. That's my initial thoughts on the new cars that have come with update 1.31. There is not a bad car in this update. There's certainly a bit of something for everyone, whether you want to kind of make an economy car into a bit of a touring car with the Mazda 3, or throw around an 8-seater, go for the classic Porsches, or try out the brand new Group 2 DTM car. There is certainly a bit of something for everyone, so I massively appreciate all of the cars that have come with this update. I'll have my full reviews over the next week on these cars, as well as a build for each and every one of them. Hopefully we can get some of those credits back that we've put out on the cars. But that's going to be it from me today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Turn those notifications on so you don't miss an upload from me. I upload GT7 and motorsport content each and every day for your viewing pleasure. And a big thank you, as always, to absolutely every single one of you. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, guys. Peace.